Anytime you give the bank money that can go straight to principal, you can skip payments in this system. That's the way it's set up. But they're not teaching that at the closing table, only because those who are at the closing table, they don't know any more about how a mortgage works than you do. Your accountant has never been taught how a mortgage actually works. Your CPA that does your taxes has not been taught how a mortgage works. Your real estate agent that sold you your house to get their license to be a real estate agent does not learn how an amortization schedule actually works. The MLO, the mortgage loan originator, your mortgage person that sold you the mortgage, does not take even one class on how the bank makes its money through interest charges on a mortgage and how to defeat it. They can't give you advice like this because they are not taught. They're taught to sell mortgages. They're not taught how to save you interest. So these little things that they give you, round up your payment or do a biweekly payment, that is the most you're going to get at the closing table until Luis Australia says, not for my clients. Not once I know what the truth is, they can actually pay this off in 7 years. Let me show you what he was talking to the closing lawyer and the other person there that was helping with explaining this mortgage situation while the person was signing their paperwork. Watch this, folks. Watch this. We're going to put the $68,000 as a prepayment, and we're going to go down cumulative principal to $68,000. Okay? We knock off 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, keep going, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, and into the 11th year. Okay? 10 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. 10 years and 7 months. I'm making notes here. 10 years, 7 months. If you take that $68,000, instead of putting it as a down payment and starting at payment number 1, how about using part of that money to prepay the loan and start out on payment? Your first payment is payment number 1 on this amortization schedule, and your next payment is on payment number 127. 127, and you save over $225,000 in interest by using that same money you would have used as a down payment. Use it as a prepayment and knock off over 10 years off the loan. These guys went home and started doing the math themselves. I wish I could be there. I wish I could be in the room, a fly on the wall, as they're explaining this to their family and friends, and they're telling them, I've never seen anything like this in my life. This guy, in just a couple of seconds, explained how I could better use this money, and now they're going to go home and work it out and be amazed, just like you are right now. The bi-weekly payment system is outdated, folks. Stop using it and start learning interest cancellation so that you can cut out just one move here, folks, just one move. Can you taking off over $250,000 in interest? Let's do the math. Okay. We're going to save $225,539.15. That's how much interest we save when we put that $68,000 as a prepayment instead of a down payment. So we're going to go back up to the top and look at how much interest the bank wanted to charge. Okay. Real Life 5 says, on watching us on YouTube, says, wow, I have no words. Because folks, it's not being taught anywhere else. It's only here in the P.I.L.L method that you're getting this kind of information. So the bank wanted on $388,000, they wanted $449,553.60 in interest. And do you know they can just about count on that money and even get more than the $449,000 that they're looking for? Do you know how I know that? Here's something to think about. 9 out of 10 people you know 9 out of 10 people you know will never pay off a mortgage in life. So if the bank wanted this much money in interest and you get a 30-year mortgage and you never able to pay off a mortgage in your entire life, because listen, you start out with a smaller house and then you will refinance it and get a larger house and get a brand new mortgage, okay? And then at a series of buying new houses and refinancing those houses, guess what? You never get to the point where you actually pay one off. 9 out of 10 people you know will never pay off a mortgage because of how the system is set up. They're going to pay a ton of interest for their entire lives. That's our contribution to the financial system. That's the system that this is baked into the system, that the bank will lend you money. Well, let's call it what it really is. Rent you their money for as much as they can, for as long as they can. Oh my goodness. So Real Life 5 says, you are so right. This is not taught anywhere. This helps me so much. Thanks for all you do. Real Life, listen, this is why we're here, to make sure it gets done. Just with one move, taking that money and putting it as a prepayment saves us $225,000. So we're going to put in the money that the bank wanted from the very beginning. Okay? Here's what the bank wanted. $449,453.60. Okay? In one move, taking money that would have gone as a down payment and we're using it as a prepayment, we're going to subtract the savings right now, subtract $225,000 over $250,000 in interest saved in 1 month. $250,000, $250,000 saved in 1 month. So we're going to subtract 225,539 and 15 cents. Listen, all the pennies matter here, folks. All the pennies matter. Equals, there's only $223,914.45 left to pay. That's it. If you did nothing else, and you paid every single payment from that point on time, then you would pay only $223,914 of the $449,000 the bank was looking for. But if you apply the P.I.L.L method strategy, following our financial program with education, teaching you the new way to think about your loans, okay? The new way of thinking about it, this disruptive information and technology. Now you're going to look at your mortgage differently, and our program will then tell you exactly how much money to move, what month to move it in, what day of the month to move it on, and which loan to attack so that you can save the maximum amount of interest. Therefore, you can now pay off all of your debt in an average of 7 to 9 years. If you want to know how to do that, folks, if you want to know how to do what I'm talking about, then go to the link above. It is ICE10K.com. ICE stands for Interest Cancellation Expert. There is only one interest cancellation expert on Clubhouse, on YouTube, on Twitter, LinkedIn. Only one. That is our company and the people we train. The company and the people we train, we're the only interest cancellation experts on the planet. That's it. And you're wondering, why haven't we blown up? Why isn't our name a household name? Well, that's about to change. That is about to change. Let me tell you in a minute here how that's going to change. So right now, folks, right now, if you want to know the month, day, and year you could be debt free, go to ICE10K.com, ICE10K.com, and then click on the link that says Get a Savings and Earnings Report. Get a savings and earnings report. You can know the month, day, and year you could be debt free and how much interest you can save. And then the interest saved, we need to be intentional about tracking the interest saved, so that you can now take that money that you saved in interest and put it towards an investment to create generational wealth for your family instead of for the bank.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. and it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.